When I was younger, we lived in Saudi. So my family lived in Riyadh. And my mom, for some reason, got a white carpet in our apartment. Okay? I don't know why she got a white carpet, because she should know who her son is. I love chocolate milk. And I love to make regular donations to my shirt when I drink chocolate milk. That's who I was as a child. And what does she do? She gets what? White carpet. You can see where this is going. So one day, I do my chocolate milk. And chocolate milk is it's making its way to it's making a map of West Africa on the floor. My mom wasn't home. She comes home, and I'm drinking, and I go, "Hey, Mom." And she looks at me, and then she looks down, and then she looks at me again, and then she looks down again. And I thought, maybe I should look down too. So I look down, and I see Malakul Maut. I see the angel of death. And I would think my mom was going to yell at me. She was going to lose her temper. She, completely calm, she comes up to me. She takes the cup from my hand and she says, "Don't move. Hillamat." So she takes the cup and she goes in the kitchen. Now I'm standing there like this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do because she said, "Hillamat, don't move." She goes in the kitchen, then I hear her turn the sink on. She fills a glass of water, a huge glass of water, all the way to the top. And then she comes back and she puts it in my hand. And then she starts walking around me like a tawaf. And I'm not moving. But every time she's behind my head, I'm trying to see what she's going to do. And then she's behind me, and she swung her arm, and she slapped me on my back really hard. And then she said what cannot be translated into English, "Aur girao, ab girao." And she kept smacking my back, like, "You like to spill, huh? You like to spill, huh?" And she kept slapping my back until the whole glass was what? And they were like, "Ah, ah." This is when I was 10 years old. A couple of years ago, because my mom, of course, it was a long time ago. My mom lives, in the same city as me. I visit her every day. So one day we're sitting together, and I told Mom, "Hey, Mom, remember that time with the chocolate milk?" She goes, "What are you talking about?" So I told her the story, because I remember like it was yesterday. Every time I drink chocolate milk, I have back pain. So I told my mom, "Hey, you did this, remember?" She goes, "Never happened." I know it happened, Mother. I know it happened. So I knew that was the story. My sister is what? What did I tell you? She's a doctor. We live in Dallas, in Texas. She's got her fellowship and she's working at a hospital in Houston. So Her Royal Highness has very little time to visit us because she's saving lives apparently. So one weekend she visits us. And what does my mom do? "Oh, little beta, let me make you anda paratha, let me make you this, let me make you that." And I'm sitting there going, "I'm here every day. Like, what's up? And then she tells my sister, "Chai bana do, can I make chai?" My mom making chai for my sister. And so they're sitting there. So in our living room, I mean, this is a shadi sofa, that's why I'm not sitting on this. But there's like, "What were you doing it?" But anyway, there's a sofa in the middle, there's a sofa on this side, there's a sofa on this side. I'm sitting in the middle, my mom's sitting on this side, my sister's sitting on this side. My sister's drinking her chai, and she spilled a little bit on the white carpet. And I'm sitting in the middle. This was one of the happiest moments of my life. I looked at it like, and my mom is still drinking chai calmly. She's not doing anything. So I thought maybe she needs some help. So I went to the kitchen, I got a huge glass of water, and I brought it to my mom. And she said, "Thanks, beta." This is wrong. I feel something is missing. There is a level of justice. She should get justice the way I got justice. But some of our parents, if you're the older sibling, your parents basically worked for North Korean military. And then by the time your youngest siblings came along, they retired. They retired. Like sometimes I hear my sister talk to my dad and my mom, she's like, I'm not in the mood. Oh, look. This is Wajibul Qadir's talk. This kind of thing. If I said I'm not in the mood, I'll show you mood. But yeah, there can be jealousy. There's jealousy in all kinds of parts of life. But we say, look, at some level, jealousy is unavoidable. But let me tell you the kind of jealousy that the brothers of Yusuf had. Allah describes it. He said, Yusuf and his brother are loved more by dad than we are. Dad loves them more than he loves us. By the way, they didn't say our brother. They said Yusuf and his brother. Because he was from a different mom, right? So they don't really even think of him as their own brother. No, it's okay. Kids can cry. Shh, not going to help. But what might help is if you take him for a walk a little bit. Okay. So anyway, so they say Yusuf and his brother, dad loves them more. Now here's the problem with that. They have a wall, you remember? First you have a wall, and you don't want to make any steps to fix that wall. And the child who doesn't have a wall, he has a normal, healthy relationship, and now it's making you angry that he has a normal, healthy relationship, and you mistranslate that as what? Yusuf and his brother are loved more. He loves us less, he loves them more. And then you do more behavior that puts a distance between you and your dad because now you want to prove to yourself that your theory is true. So you do more undesirable things, upsetting things, and then when dad gets upset, then you say, see, I knew you love him more. So you're just trying to prove your own hypothesis to yourself. I want you to use a little bit of imagination. Imagine there's a fire in the middle of the woods, all these brothers are huddled together, and they're like, yeah, Dad, I don't know why, we do all the work. We gather the wood, we get the water from the well, we feed the animals, we take care of the farm, we go to the market, we protect the house from wolves. We're the reason the house is running. He's too old to do anything, and those kids are too young to do anything. I don't understand why he loves them so much. We're the ones doing everything. There's no value. That's what he's saying. That's what they're saying, right? What do we learn from that? There are people that think they should be loved because of what they do. Right? I do this and this and this, and you don't even love me? And then I do this and this, and you don't love me? In their mind, love is actually a business transaction. Love is what? A business transaction. I'm not saying your dad does this, or your mom does this, or your elders do this, but some people, you know what? Some fathers, they never make dua for their child until the child gives them money. The moment he gives them money, mera beta, mashallah, mashallah. Then 1 week, the son doesn't give money. 1 month, the son doesn't give money. All of a sudden, a different father. A different father. Like you don't want your parents' dua, huh? You don't want their duas. You don't want to be forgiven, huh? You don't think that making us happy will get you into Jannah. Hello, good luck on Judgment Day. What are they doing? They have made their love a business transaction. You understand? So in some people's mind, if I'm doing this, this, and this, and this, you must love me. You must love me because I do these things. Because in their mind, it is a transaction. They're obviously serving the house, so they think they should deserve special treatment because they're doing all of that. Now, this thought that they have, that dad loves him more, if I want to imagine I am one of those brothers. I just want to imagine I'm sitting in that fire, I'm one of them. And one of them says, we do all the work. And I'm just listening. And the other one says, yeah, it's unfair. It's just so wrong. What are we even doing wrong? Why is he so lost? Why is he so confused that we're the real sons of this family? And then one of the crazy brothers says, we should kill him. Like one of the crazy ones. And that guy was next to me. So I just go, what is wrong with you? This kid's a kid. And then the other one says, okay, no, we're not going to kill him. But maybe we could take him somewhere far away. I wish we could just take him somewhere far away. But the problem with far away is, he's too smart. He'll find his way back home. So another one says, listen, killing is a bit extreme, guys. And taking him far away is not going to work. I got an idea. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying we're going to do it, but, I mean, if we were going to do something, I'd say we should put him in a well somewhere, and then he can't come out, and he can't come back home. Not our problem, and probably somebody will take him, whatever, you know. It's just a thought, just an idea. I'm just saying. You know when people say, I'm not saying anything? I'm not saying it, that's when people are saying something real bad. I'm not saying it. And then the people who say, I like to mind my own business, actually. I just like to talk. I don't like to talk about anybody. Those are the people that love talking about other people. So this is the conversation that's happening. Don't kill him. Put him in a well. And I'm in that group. And I think, guys, this is bad. We need to stop thinking like this. I don't think this is a good idea. Maybe we should just talk to Dad about how we feel. But I didn't say anything. I stayed quiet. Even though I felt it, I stayed what? Quiet. You know why? Because I know these guys are so mad right now. If I talk against them, there will be 2 people in a well. Right? So it's better to what? Stay quiet. There are some people that are angry and loud and crazy, and there are other people who are quiet because they're afraid of them. And that happens in every family. Some people say crazy things, and you don't say anything because right now they're angry at them. If you say, let's calm down a little bit, they will be angry at you. You are part of what makes them strong. They are strong because of your silence. Your silence becomes their support. You understand? Not all the brothers were saying these things. 1 or 2 were saying these things, the rest of them were what? Silent. Maybe even some of them were doubtful, but now they are part of the crowd. This concept is something called an echo chamber. I want you to understand these terms. They're used now in psychology and sociology, and these are concepts described in the Quran. So you should know. It's called an echo chamber. What does that mean? You talk to people who have the same feelings as you. Right? So you have a friend and you go to your friend and you say, I don't know, my dad just doesn't get me. And she goes, yeah, totally. Like your dad? I mean, I've seen dads, but your dad really doesn't get you. Now what does that do when you talk to that friend of yours? Your disconnect from your father gets better or worse?
Worse.
Because you're talking to people that are agreeing with you, right? And then you talk to some other people, and you find people online who also agree with you. Then you find more people online that agree with you. Then you follow some Twitter accounts that agree with you. And that's how January 6th happened. What happened there was basically an echo chamber, without a joke. Echo chambers happen inside a family. Echo chambers happen in politics. You start developing a certain kind of thinking, and if anybody disagrees, everybody will get enraged with them. So a lot of people that are inside of an echo chamber, they just stay quiet because they're too scared to speak up. You understand? And that's what they develop. Now I made jokes about jealousy in our lives. We need to fix that problem though. How do we not have jealousy? It's okay to look at someone and want what they have. That's okay. If you see someone who did really well in school, and you want to do really well in school because they did really well in school, that's okay. If you see somebody who plays really good basketball and you want to play basketball just like them, that's okay. When does it become jealousy and when is it okay? I want you to replace the word comparison, which we're going to talk about in a second. Comparison should go away. Inspiration should take its place. We don't want comparison, we want what? Inspiration. I'm inspired by somebody else's improvements. I'm inspired by somebody else's accomplishments. I'm inspired by them. But I'm not doing what? Comparison. I'm never going to do comparison. Some young man came up to me one time and he said, one day, I'm going to have more audience than you. And I was so sad in my heart. And I really prayed. I hugged him. And I said, I hope Allah gives you much more than that. Because the thing is, if that poor young man one day gets a bigger audience, that will be the saddest day in his life if that's his mentality. You know why? Because in his mind already he lives in what? Comparison. He sees an audience and he says, I want bigger audience than this. In his head, it's all about what? Comparison. That's not inspiration, that's comparison. The thing with comparison is, the first comparison that happens